Hey guys.
Hi.
We were just getting into a good conversation about parenting girls and what it's like right now for girls. I feel like, man, it's tough. And specifically kind of like the messages that they're receiving through social media.
Yeah.
How to present themselves. Their clothes.
Music.
What's important. Like, again, it's like it's back to this. All of the messaging is just emphasizing the wrong things about what it is to be a woman.
I know.
And I was like, no, it's okay. So then we, as we begin to understand and explore and get confident in our voices as women, how do we then teach our daughters to fight against this and to be different? It's so hard because, especially as teenagers, I think this is the most difficult thing to do. Is
They
to
just
kind of
want to fit in, like we were just saying. Like that's all they want to do. They do not want to stand out. They don't want the individual attention. They just want to be like, I'm just going to go with the crowd. I want to fit in with everybody else. I want to have the same clothing, same hairstyle, same whatever. And it's
okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
But you just saying that is like a red flag for me, because it's like, why?
Yeah.
Why does everybody? I guess it's a natural instinct. Like everybody wants to fit in. But I also think it's the crux of our issues as a society right now. Is nobody wants to speak up and say, I don't think so.
That doesn't sound right.
I know, exactly.
Yeah.
Or, I have a different idea about this.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that.
Well, and it's scary too, because it's like we were talking before. It's like not trusting or knowing or honoring that voice to know that it doesn't feel right, and then having the courage to stand up and be that individual. As a teenager, heck no, I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah,
you know, it's even hard now as an adult.
Right.
So, but that's what I think we need to be teaching our kids.
Well, why don't you share this story about just the outfits.
How it came up.
Yeah, exactly.
So my daughter ordered some clothing from Shein. No, if you know about Shein, everybody talks about Shein. And the other thing that's kind of funny is they watch TikTok. And she gets all of her inspiration from TikTok. And it's like the epitome of social media, because it has the music piece, it has the dancing, it has the style, I mean, all of it. So if that's what you're looking at, of course you're going to want the clothing and everything else to fit in like those people, because that's what you think that's what's going to give you happiness, joy, whatever.
Right.
So she had bought some shorts, and her tops were actually cute. They're crop tops, but they're not tight. Crop tops are like flowy and really kind of very feminine looking. So I thought they were really cute. But she needs high-rise pants or shorts to wear with them. So she puts her shorts on, and she comes and asks me, Mom, do you like these, or how do they look, or something? And I was just like, oh God. They look like boy shorts.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're jean shorts, but they're cut so short. She's got a fantastic body. So it's not about the body necessarily, because I just remember, like, I would never wear this, because when I was her age, I did not have that body.
Right. Yeah, sure.
I had cellulite, and, I was overweight, so there's no way I could wear them. So the old me would have been jealous of, like, oh, look at her body. Like, she can actually wear those things, But then it's like...
And then maybe celebrating that. Like, God, you have the body. Show it off. And it's
I think that's what else is in society, too, where it's just like, oh, well, she's got the body, so she needs to show it off.
Yeah, like,
why?
she should.
Who are you showing it off to?
Yeah. And it brings us back to that whole, again, another insight that you shared with me that was just profound for me, which was, is that really all your body's good for?
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
Just to be pleasing to somebody else visually? Like,
talk about limiting. I mean,
like,
that's all it's for?
Really? Is just to look a certain way, have a certain curve to it.
Yeah.
So that other people will go, wow, that's attractive.
Yeah. And then what? Right? Like, it's so empty, it's so limiting, it's just so...
Especially with the miraculous abilities that our bodies have.
Oh my gosh.
To have children, to heal itself, to self-regulate, I mean, our bodies
are amazing.
Every system has an immune system.
Yes.
You know, like
it's just amazing.
I mean, it's awe-inspiring.
It is.
And yet we limit
it to just those like two things.
How does it look based on what our society values in this moment in time?
And then knowing we could never reach that.
Yeah.
And I was always trying to reach that.
And it's just
impossible.
Creates suffering.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Suffering.
Yeah.
Your daughter is in suffering right now.
Yeah.
Because why?
Right.
Because she's got this body and she's like, okay, well, I
got to dress it this way. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's her value, is by dressing it like trash.
Yeah.
And
dressing it to fit that, which is like, my body is good for sex.
Yeah. And that basically, that's it. And it's like,
and that's how girls are taught to dress.
Oh.
Are you good for sex or are you not?
Right.
We need to be able to see it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So the more you can expose, the better.
It's like, okay, so then she passes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
good.
Gosh.
Let's talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing that's so scary and sad is that she doesn't know that.
Yeah.
She's following what the social media is showing her and thinking that that's cool and that's how she's going to fit in. But again, with the 3 layers that we always talk about, where's the spiritual piece of that? Where's the emotional, mental, all of it? Where's those other pieces to that? And when you peel it back, you're like, oh, that is not getting me that. That is only getting me this attraction or this attention from men to have sex with me.
Well, just a couple of weeks ago, my daughter, so we had the conversation in our house, like, look, in our society today, this is the messaging, right? That women are good for sex, and that if you dress this certain way, then you must want sex.
Right.
You must want to be noticed for that, right? You
Yep.
must want to be noticed for your body. And so then I'm like, so be aware of that, and let's not ask for that.
Exactly.
Let's
not advertise by the way we were wearing our clothing or what kind of clothing we are wearing.
Yeah. So it's always kind of like, if you're wearing leggings, cover it up.
Right.
Because like I'll see, I mean, and maybe this is me showing my age or like, as I've always felt like as an overweight girl, I couldn't make a comment about women who were showing themselves off, showing their bodies off, because it's like, well, you're just jealous, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
You can't do it.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe, but like at the same time, I've been a size 4. It's not like I was doing that, but still.
Yeah.
I saw this girl, crop top, tight, leggings, and it was just like, I know exactly what she looks like naked.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this leaves nothing to the imagination. Like, I now know everything about her curves.
Yeah.
And it was just like,
why do I need to know that? Why do I need to see
this?
that? I know.
Because what it does, I think, is it says, this is me.
Yeah.
You need to figure out nothing more about me.
Right.
Like,
ooh, yeah.
Here it
Again,
is.
that's limiting. It's so limiting.
So anyway, in our house, I say, let's cover it.
Yeah.
When you're going out, find something that covers it. My daughter did not. She went to work, and she works at like a little My Gym or like for kids that she teaches. And she went to the bookstore afterwards, and she had on a crop top and her leggings. She's like, does an athletic thing for her work.
Yeah.
And an older man walked by her and said, nice ass. And
interesting.
Like was 16, was shocked, ashamed.
Yeah.
Like immediately
So
thought,
many
like, oh,
emotions
did I
in their
ask
life.
for this?
Yeah.
We all know all the emotions, right? Self-blame. Why do I have to live in this world? All the things that go through. Pissed, ashamed, all the things.
Yeah.
So she comes home, tells me about it, and I don't empathize at first.
Yeah.
What I first say is, well, I mean, we've talked about dressing like that.
Right,
You're aware.
Right.
we can't be surprised.
Yeah.
And that was not helpful. She got angry about that. And I was able to see, like, that's not the first thing you want to hear. Like, maybe later we could kind of discuss that together. Yeah. But just the empathy of, like, oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. Right. And so, again, it's like processing with our girls because we've experienced it, right? Like, let me tell you what it feels like when you go and sell yourself this way, when you paint yourself to the world in this way, you're going to get some attention that's not going to feel good. Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a, like we were saying, it has to be a kind of a constant conversation because, my immediate reaction to my daughter was like, no, because she'll ask my opinion, and I've been trying to teach her to really see how she feels about it, because I think, the reason she's asking me for my opinion is because she kind of knows deep down it's not appropriate.
Right.
But she wants my opinion, and so now I'd like to have more of a conversation with her about it, because that's how I'm feeling I'm teaching her to really listen to that inner voice.
Well, it's really interesting because, as you were saying, like, deep down she might know.
Yeah.
But instead of having the confidence to say for herself, like, wait, I don't choose this.
Right.
Because then she's like deliberately choosing against what the status quo is, right? It's so much easier
for me, like, Mom, you choose it, right? And then I can blame you.
Exactly. Easier to be like, my mom makes me wear this.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like you can see kind of
True.
how our kids try to use us, maybe to feel safe.
And I think that's a good thing. I mean, I'm glad you said that, because I hadn't thought of it that way. And I've even used that excuse with her when something, like she doesn't want to go somewhere, do something, or I don't know, something like that. Well, I'll just say, just use me as an excuse. And I'm okay with that, because that's, as her mother, I should be that protecting her, because I need to teach her how to then foster that for herself.
Right.
She's just not ready yet. So that's a good point.
Yeah. And so then it's like, how can we give them that, kind of give them the space to need that and lean on that, while also encouraging them to kind of be like, hey, that's okay. Like, well, why don't you explore something else then? It gives them permission to explore another way of dressing or being. And, maybe they find, because there are other ways.
Yeah.
I think the second you begin to say, wait, the status quo, like whatever's like generally accepted, if I don't want that, are there other avenues? And then you begin to find that there are, but you have to first reject what is the norm.
Right.
What most people
that's
try to sell you.
Very difficult to do when you're inundated with it.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to her several years ago and saying, we're fighting a machine. It's very manipulative, very calculated. It's all on purpose. So to recognize it and then say, oh, okay, I feel like I'm getting caught back in it again or whatever, and then being able to choose a different way. But they're not old enough to do that yet. They're not mature enough to do that yet. So we have to do it ourselves, and then when we recognize it, then be able to teach them.
Exactly.
And that's through those conversations.
Constant conversation. And constant compassion.
Yes.
They cannot choose better.
Right.
And I've failed. I mean, like I just shared my failing of like not compassion, but like, no, I told you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's funny you're saying that, because another thing just is coming in, because she has also been, again, on TikTok with this lots of influence, and she's now making her own money, and so she wants to go buy things, she's like, I have a list of all these things I want to get before school starts, and then all this stuff, and then she bought, she's buying like hair products, face products, all these things. Well, so-and-so said whatever. And what's so interesting to see, and this is why it's so great, because this is where they need to make their mistakes. This is where they need to mess up, and it's at home, where it's a safe place. And so she has she got this face care system, and she got like a sample of it just for her, and she used it and she didn't really like it. Well, she subscribed to the subscription, right? So she didn't cancel it in time. And so then they charged her, sobbing, melting down. I was like, it's okay. What did you learn from this? See what you can do now, Right. Then she buys this hair stuff. And she's like, Mom, my hair's falling out. And then I was reading the whatever, and it's like, oh, other people said that their hair is falling out too. And instead of being like, you should have done your research, you should have done whatever, it's just like, what'd you learn? What are you learning?
Right.
And then she wants to go do something else. I want to go buy this other thing. So she's slowly learning these little lessons, but it's funny because I'm watching her this whole time just being like, influenced, tries it, doesn't work. Influenced, tries it, it's not working. Like just constantly navigating this machine.
Yeah. Oh,
of
absolutely.
Influence, and just being like, she's noticing things aren't working, but not really holding on to it yet.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
It's still a practice for her.
But I think that's like where the constant connecting of the dots for them is really important.
That's the key. Because
and where you're just like, man, sometimes I've experienced this too, where I get caught up in someone I respect or I like, and I go down this rabbit hole, and then I don't listen to myself.
Right.
And then I find myself in this place where like I've made a mistake. It's like always just reminding, come back to myself.
Yes.
Where is my beauty? Do I need this to be beautiful?
Right.
Why do I think I do?
Right. Oh.
And it's just every time making it that conversation.
Yeah. I think for me, it's just such a great lesson to then now have those conversations, because I wasn't having them before. I was testing out the waters a little bit and saying like, okay, well, how do you feel about it? And she would get so mad at me, and now I love how it's kind of evolved into this new, like, just having those conversations and then seeing how she really feels about it. And then that helps her figure out how to feel about it and then navigate. Right?
Explore it.
Yeah.
And like hear your wisdom without putting it on her.
Yeah.
Be like, this is my experience. I don't know. Maybe it's different now. Whatever. And like giving the space.
Yes.
To let
and it's
them
always so graceful too.
Agree or disagree. You know what I mean?
When we give them that space and when we have those conversations, it's always so graceful. Because it's like they when I ask her, do you understand? And she's like, yeah, that makes sense. So it's just a beautiful way to bring them to their knowingness.
Right. And reminding them, because you're speaking from that internal wisdom, you're speaking with clarity, you're speaking to teach and guide, not to control.
Right. Which is the old ways.
And absolute difference in the interactions.
Oh, with everything. It's just amazing when you see it. So,
really beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Bye.